Welcome to Nugget 301 with Steve and Dana Groman, and we are leaving Utah and heading to Colorado. Colorado has many dinosaur sites, and I mentioned many of them in my book, The Classic Road Trip. Colorado is found in the Central Edition because it is a Rocky Mountain state, and we have a Christmas special. If you order all three, the Eastern, Central, and Western Edition, you get free shipping. Just say you heard it on our Nuggets and you want the Christmas special. Rocky Mountain Dinosaur Resource Center at Woodland Park shows off a fossil preparation laboratory and one-of-a-kind exhibits, including the world's smallest Tyrannosaurus rex, the world's largest mosasaur, and the world's only Pachycephalosaurus. Visitors are allowed to touch and rub certain dinosaur fossils, and I have mentioned this in a previous nugget that many of these places do have a bone that visitors can touch, and it's really cool to rub on a dinosaur bone if you've never done that, or even if you've done it before. It's always fun to do that again. It was many years ago when we went to this establishment. They probably have refined some of their displays since then, but it was very good and very thorough, of course, with the evolutionary mindset. And they had these photographs and write-ups on deep time, a history of the universe. One of the photographs was about this little Madagascar hedgehog. Mammals evolved from mammal-like reptiles 240 million years ago. Well, that is not true. That is what evolutionists believe. But as a creationist, we believe that the creation of the world is reported in Genesis 1 through 31, where God said 10 times that everything reproduces after its own kind. Nothing can, quote, jump kind lines. Everything reproduces what it is, and we see that repeated every day, thousands and thousands, maybe even millions of times when you consider blades of grass. They talk about the climate during the Cretaceous period, and what do they describe? The pre-flood world. They have a little information about Sir Richard Owen. As they say here, he first coined the term dinosaur in 1842, based off of the 3 incomplete specimens and associated fragments discovered in England. Owen and most of his colleagues believed dinosaurs were slow, dim-witted monsters which behaved as overgrown iguanas, and no place would be incomplete without mentioning Charles Darwin. Here is a photograph of Charles Darwin during the late 1800s. His revolutionary ideas of evolution changed the way biologists saw the world, and not just biologists, but many, many people across the earth. Life has never been the same once they have accepted evolution. I'm not going to read all the signs. I just want to show you a variety of them. They really were replete with posters and informational placards in this place. Many people wonder what scientists mean when they say the word dinosaur. The average person on the street often believes that a dinosaur is any animal that is old, fossilized, extinct, and found buried in the ground. And that's kind of funny because if someone is old or something is archaic, like even an old-style rotary phone, they would call that a dinosaur. The word has become synonymous with just a long time ago. This is not the case. A dinosaur is a specific type of animal that is essentially the missing link between reptiles and birds. It is not the missing link between reptiles and birds. Some of them were mammals, and some of them were reptiles. It is a clearly defined type of animal, set apart from everything else based on unique characters that it shares with other dinosaurs. And that's not really true either. They are not clearly defined. It is not a clearly defined animal type. They have all kinds of versions and varieties, and they even admit at times that they don't know for sure what one particular thing that they're putting together is. But they go on to say this is much like you would call an eagle or a finch a bird, or a mouse or lion a mammal. Well, those are birds, and those are mammals, and dinosaurs, most of them, were reptiles. They were beasts. In 1859, an English naturalist named Charles Darwin published the extremely controversial paper on the origins of species to describe what he observed during a voyage to the Galapagos Islands, and we've talked about Darwin in many, many of these nuggets. This was interesting. It's the one and only. There was only one king of the dinosaurs, Tyrannosaurus rex, and it seems until now only one well-authenticated track. T-Rex lived about 70 to 65 million years ago in the late Cretaceous. Oh, T-Rex lived pre-flood. This track, which is 34 inches long, is the largest three-toed track ever found and the largest of any carnivore dinosaur. It was found in New Mexico, near the border with Colorado, and I want to find where that was. As I have mentioned, many museums have something very rare and specific. This is what makes them all worthwhile to go to. Here are some some ammonites and sea life fossils that they talk about were found. The reason that they were found in this region was because it was part of the Western Interior Sea. We have talked about this Interior Sea in many, many nuggets. We know that it wasn't an interior sea. It was at the time of Noah's flood, when water covered the entire earth, as the Bible specifically and clearly states. One of the kind of upsetting things when we do go to these places is often there's a curator or a worker. Many times they don't really realize what they're doing, but as you can tell, these people are enamored about what this lady has to say. And it is such a shame that most museums only present evolution. And that is what most people hear 95% of the time or greater. There were people working in the preparatory lab that day, and you can see some of these pictures in the back of the building had dinosaur bones all in there, ready to be worked on at some point in time. It is a tedious task. And they had a display of paleo tools, and we have used some of this in our adventures in collecting dinosaur bones and preparing them. And then they tried to dismiss some of the mythologies because they don't know what to do when these dinosaur-looking animals, they claim, are found in ancient art and cave drawings. Top 10 controversial topics. And I did like how they presented this. Number 7 was evolution versus creationism. Well, we know it's not creationism, and we have talked about that before, about you do not call it creationism because ism means it's just a belief system, and we know that creation is a scientific fact. You either believe creation or you believe evolution. And where does the science lie? It lies with creation, of course, because God's word is true. But back to this. Number 7, evolution versus creationism. God versus nature or God in nature. Evolution has been a controversial topic since Charles Darwin first came up with the idea in the mid-1800s. Exactly how it works is always under debate. Still, there are many that argue against the theory, relying on the traditional, literal story of creation as told in religious texts around the world. Exactly, thankfully, and that's why we appreciate you sharing our nuggets to help us spread the truth of creation, because evolution is spread through the land and across the world by millions. If you appreciate these videos, you can partner with us on a monthly or a one-time basis. Our phone number is 603-616-8907. Call to order your videos today. The one on dinosaurs would make a great Christmas present. We do have 12 lessons, Darwin's Legacy, Bible or Billions, all about dinosaurs. Words mean things, Noah's big boat and the flood, question and answers, misconceptions about space, in 6 days, rock solid proof, living proof. Why is this important? And after the flood, they are available on USB drives. Call to order yours today, and we will give you free shipping if you mention this as our Christmas special. Thank you.